Subscribe to the MTL World at Malworld 1 YouTube channel. Swallowed Star 2, Land of Origin. Volume 11, The Hunyuan Blade Dao. Chapter 419, Refining the Heart. 34th of Volume 11. Translator, Shadow Knight AK. Editor, Shadow Knight AK. In a vast area, radiant divine light illuminated every corner, warping space-time into a colossal labyrinth. Inside this twisted space-time maze, at the core of the dazzling light, loomed a massive, eight-hoofed figure. 16 multicolored eyes surveyed the multiple layers of space-time. He is, Ba Fau, a formidable being ranked among the top 30 in the infinite Hunyuan space. Who killed my people? Ba Fau sensed the death and was consumed by rage. For any race, world-level Hunyuan lifeforms are considered core members, and their names are prioritized by the Hunyuan ancestors themselves. Ba Fau followed the lingering traces of the connection, his gaze stretching across vast distances. His mastery of void techniques is among the highest. With a single glance, he pinpointed the location of his kin's demise, where a black-robed, dark-haired man stood. Ba Fau's heart trembled. Luo Feng. Ba Fau instantly regained his composure. How could he have killed my kin? Ba Fau wondered, his 16 eyes scanning the area and reviewing past events. He clearly saw his kin devouring the origin cores of Origin World when Luo Feng descended. The moment Luo Feng arrived, he annihilated the world-level Hunyuan lifeforms. Just because my kin consumed the origin cores of Origin World, Luo Feng came to kill us. Ba Fau pondered, but this is our territory. These origin worlds are our food. Is consuming sustenance enough to warrant such slaughter? These practitioner lords all emerged from the origin worlds. They care deeply about each one. Is that why they're venting their anger on my race? But they've already occupied the 3,600 world cluster. Isn't that enough? Ba Fau knew well that the practitioner lords were constantly striving to expand their territory. This began with a single lord, Yuan. As their numbers grew, the practitioner territory expanded relentlessly. Now, the newly ascended Lord Luo Feng possessed terrifying power, ranking among the strongest in the infinite Hunyuan space. Are they aiming to expand their territory again? Ba Fau thought. If the death of a member of his race had been at the hands of another Hunyuan ancestor or world-level Hunyuan lifeforms, Ba Fau would never let it go easily. But since it was Lord Luo Feng of the practitioner faction who had struck, Ba Fau chose to turn a blind eye. He had no choice. As a weak faction, Ba Fau couldn't afford to provoke the practitioner faction. If the practitioner faction truly intends to expand their territory, the innate Hunyuan lifeform faction and the Ice Peak faction will be the most troubled, Ba Fau thought. I'd better stay far away. Such audacity. Who dared to kill my kin? The thousand-eyed Qian Yanda Hunyuan ancestor roared in fury. As a close friend of the Nirvana Hunyuan ancestor, one of the 9 sovereigns, he held considerable status within the innate Hunyuan lifeform faction. His clan numbered only a few dozen world-level Hunyuan lifeform, and each one of them are precious to him. His vast territory was also home to numerous world-level Hunyuan lifeform from other races. While he could calmly handle the deaths of these outsiders, the loss of one of his own world-level Hunyuan lifeform ignited his wrath. Following the cause and effect, the thousand-eyed Hunyuan ancestor immediately peered into the distance, determined to see who dared to slaughter his kin. Then, he saw the figure in black robes and dark hair. The enraged thousand-eyed Hunyuan ancestor instantly calmed down. Luo Feng. He murmured, these practitioner lords are truly reckless. Lacking the courage to confront Luo Feng directly, he immediately informed his friend, the Nirvana Hunyuan ancestor. After all, the 9 sovereigns are the supreme rulers of the innate Hunyuan lifeform faction. In a short span of time, Luo Feng's 3,916 clones slaughtered approximately 3,000 world-level Hunyuan lifeform, about 500 from weaker factions, 800 from the Ice Peak faction, and 1,700 from the innate Hunyuan lifeform faction. The weaker factions endured the losses, as the impact was relatively minor. What is Luo Feng up to? Bingfeng Hunyuan ancestor, who was currently resided on the 20th level of the Abyss of Destruction and had been awaiting Luo Feng's challenge, was stunned to learn that Luo Feng's clones were wreaking havoc across multiple territories, annihilating numerous world-level Hunyuan lifeform. The death of 800 world-level Hunyuan lifeform didn't concern Bingfeng Hunyuan ancestor. After all, over 90% of these Hunyuan are not the descendants of Hunyuan ancestors. For a race to produce a Hunyuan ancestor is exceedingly rare. In the infinite Hunyuan space, there are over 30,000 races of world-level Hunyuan lifeform, yet there are only a little over 200 Hunyuan ancestors in total. He is not just targeting the Ice Peak faction, but all world-level Hunyuan lifeform who took action against the origin worlds, the Bingfeng Hunyuan ancestor realized after a brief investigation. These lords are all fiercely protective of the origin worlds, he thought, his anger rising. The emergence of even a single practitioner lord guaranteed a stable position within the top 20 in terms of power. Moreover, each one of the era mortal. Remarkably, the practitioner faction has already occupied 8 of the top 20 positions. Fortunately, the practitioner lords showed little interest in material resources, refraining from aggressive plundering of resources. This had been the foundation of the Ice Peak faction's historically amicable relationship with the practitioner faction. However, as the practitioner faction continued to grow stronger and more lords began to emerge, the Ice Peak faction began to feel the pressure. The innate Xuanhuan lifeform faction controls the vastest territory. Let them clash with the practitioner faction, the Bingfeng Xuanhuan ancestor thought silently, his patience holding firm. They killed nearly 1,700 of our world-level Xuanhuan lifeforms. Did they all encounter Luo Feng's clones while attacking origin worlds? The infinite serpent Xuanhuan ancestor, having learned the details, was also furious. These practitioner lords kills as they please. They even interfere in origin worlds beyond their territories. The infinite serpent Xuanhuan ancestor had witnessed such incidents countless times. Lord Xing Meng and Lord Mo Man, for instance, frequently recruited talented practitioners from countless origin worlds outside the practitioner territory. During these recruitments, they often crushed world-level Xuanhuan lifeforms who dared to attack the origin worlds. It's worth noting that the practitioner faction had collected the bloodlines of every world-level Xuanhuan lifeform race over 30,000 species, with 100% coverage. This feat was largely accomplished by Lord Xingmeng. To gather these bloodlines, Lord Xingmeng plunged the entire infinite Xuanhuan space into terror, leaving all world-level Xuanhuan lifeform in a state of panic. The fact that a single race possessed a world-level Xuanhuan lifeform only further intensified their terror. This practitioner faction will ultimately become a great calamity. The infinite serpent Xuanhuan ancestor had painstakingly orchestrated a massive war within the faction, only for it to end abruptly with Luo Feng's breakthrough. Now, with only a handful of world-level Xuanhuan lifeforms killed, a large-scale war was impossible to instigate. After all, minor skirmishes were commonplace between opposing factions. Luo Feng's strength now rivals Xingmeng and Shazhou. Even if all 100 Xuanhuan ancestors on my side joined forces, we couldn't guarantee victory against the entire practitioner faction, the infinite serpent Xuanhuan ancestor lamented. Unless we allied with the Ice Peak faction. The infinite serpent Xuanhuan ancestor immediately dismissed the idea. The conflict between the innate Xuanhuan lifeform faction and the Ice Peak faction was far more fundamental. The practitioner faction only cared about origin worlds, placing little value on other resources. The Ice Peak faction, however, coveted every resource essential to innate Xuanhuan beings. Their mutual hatred had been endured for countless ages. Inside the territory of the innate Xuanhuan lifeform faction, Luo Feng, dressed in black robe with black hair, stood in the void, looking at an origin world in front of him. In his vision, the past history and sufferings of this origin world began to unfold one by one. He witnessed this origin world's former glory, its vibrant tapestry of life, and the fierce competition among its myriad races. Like his own homeworld origin world, it had given rise to humanoid species and diverse civilizations, all native to the origin world. Their cultivation systems had influenced and borrowed from one another, evolving through trial and error. Among them, Chaos Realm practitioners had once emerged. But then, a world-level Xuanhuan lifeform arrived. They're all dead, Luo Feng murmured, watching the origin worlds past. Every living being in this origin world has been wiped out. Since becoming a lord, Luo Feng had long possessed the ability to see beyond the practitioner territory, observing countless origin worlds beyond their dominion and witnessing the suffering they endured. Each time, he felt a suffocating rage, yet reason told him he needed greater power to change the situation. In the past, he had avoided lingering on these visions. The reality was simply too horrific. Whether the countless living beings within or the origin world itself, all were mere sustenance. The 8 lords, lacking sufficient power, could not alter this fate. Thus, they could not bear to watch for long. But now, Luo Feng continued to observe. He even studied the history of the origin world, scrutinizing every instance of suffering. As he watched, scene after scene of tragic and oppressive events seared themselves into his mind. The killing intent in his heart surged relentlessly, and the flames of his fury burned ever brighter. It was as if he were forging a weapon, with this accumulating killing intent and rage refining his very soul. My heart of destruction is still not strong enough. In the hidden realm within the abyss of destruction, at the mountain of destruction, when Luo Feng first encountered this mountain, he was attacked by endless killing intent and hatred, and memories flooded his mind, as if he were reliving those experiences himself. That initial encounter had deeply stirred Luo Feng, intensifying his killing intent. He felt as if he had become each of the suffering victims, enduring countless moments of despair, and his hatred for the Xuanhuan lifeforms burned with boundless intensity. It was then that Luo Feng realized. He had found a path to forge his heart of destruction. His heart of destruction is indeed not strong enough. After all, he has ascended to become the highest level life form in the infinite Xuanhuan space, an immortal lord. He has also turned the tide of the war for the practitioner faction, safeguarding the 3600 world cluster. Most importantly, the homeworld origin world, where Luo Feng's dearest friends and family resided, could all be resurrected from the river of time. What Luo Feng truly cares about is everything in his homeworld origin world. When he learned that everyone could be resurrected, Luo Feng was overjoyed. With his heart filled with joy, his heart of destruction naturally diminished. As for the countless origin worlds beyond the practitioner territory, they were ultimately just spectators. While spectators might feel anger, it could never reach the level required to forge a heart of destruction. Only the moment he touched the mountain of destruction, as if experiencing it firsthand, did the true stimulus strike Luo Feng. The origin world of the origin continent is most important to me. It's the place I've sworn to protect with my life. But what difference is there between the origin world of the origin continent and all the other origin worlds? They're all origin worlds teeming with life. Because my strength is insufficient, I can't protect the countless origin worlds beyond our territory. In the future, if my strength remains inadequate, the entire 3600 world cluster could be trampled. Luo Feng understood this clearly. Not long ago, if he hadn't broken through, the innate Xuanhuan lifeform faction might have achieved their goal of crushing the entire practitioner territory. If the 3600 world cluster is trampled, would my homeworld origin world survive alone? The infinite Xuanhuan space had never been a benevolent place. The practitioner faction is also competing with other factions. The Xuanhuan ancestors are more numerous and capable of producing even more formidable beings. Compete or be crushed. Advance or retreat. If he remained satisfied with his current strength, what would happen if a future powerhouse seizes control of the highest-tier mysterious land and, with invincible might, swept through the practitioner territory, annihilating the homeworld origin worlds of all lords? Even if he were immortal, what good would it do? His homeworld origin world would be destroyed, and all his loved ones and friends would be annihilated. For him, that would be an endless torment. With blood and fire, I will annihilate all enemies. Through endless destruction, I will safeguard the life of my people. Luo Feng's 3,916 clones traversed different territories, observing countless origin worlds and witnessing the events of the past. These scenes of suffering burned into Luo Feng's consciousness. If the heart of destruction is not strong enough, you cannot protect what you cherish. He meticulously examined the countless origin worlds and the suffering they had endured throughout the ages, engraving each hardship into his memory. These trials were like fuel, stoking the fire in Luo Feng's heart until it burned ever brighter. This fire tempered his heart of destruction. Meanwhile, in the hidden realm of the Mountain of Destruction, Luo Feng manifested another clone. The clone sat cross-legged beside the Mountain of Destruction, occasionally reaching out to touch its surface, absorbing the endless malice and hatred. It seemed to become one with the countless souls who had died unjustly, reliving their final moments. Blank. End of chapter. Subscribe to MTL World at Malworld 1 YouTube channel.